Hello everybody, this is Blender Pretender with another bicycle video here. Last video that I left off, I did the pedal, and let me see if I can zoom in here. I did some modifications to the pedal already. I turned them around. I've joined them to this, the pedal arms. It's locked. So let me just show. Wrong one. There. So I've basically when I was working the last time with this, the pedal was being mirrored over, so I applied the modifier and then rotated 180. I adjusted this pedal arm a little bit, so it has more curve than this one, for the sake of making up the distance that it came into here, so it looks a little bit better with the sprocket and the chain guard there. It's going to hide some of the stuff in here, so it's going to look okay, I think. So, okay, and I did some modifications to the pedal as well. I didn't, the video last time got pretty long, but one of the things that I did, I'm going to point out, is I inset some of the faces around the pedal here for the sake of distinguishing the materials, or separating the materials. That'll be apparent when I apply the materials to this. Anyway, for this video, this video is going to be dedicated to doing the chain. Got a couple ideas. I have a couple of ideas on how I'm going to approach it. The one that I think might work is to do a curve and then duplicate these along the curve. There's a modifier for that in the stack. What has a modifier? What object? Well, first of all, let me change this back. I had this as a reference. I'm going to change it back to the text editor. Or maybe I'll just get rid of it altogether. And let me see. And what? Okay, so I have the pedal still. Oh, it's not the mirror modifier. It's the subdivision modifier. So that's fine. Okay, so this is my reference right here. That line is the one that I created in the previous video. Actually 2 videos ago, as a reference for where the sprockets were going to line up and how the chain was going to run through. Okay, so I'm going to use that as, it's pretty much, is it on the center? Let me see, Control 3. It's not on the center. So use that as a starting point, and maybe I'll just rename it and call it, I'm going to turn it into a curve, I think, but I'm going to call it chain. It was a measurement temp, and I'm going to call it now a chain. And then whatever other objects become chain, they'll just have another number associated with it. Let me see, what's the best way to go about it? I think the best way to go about this right now is I'm going to go back to the pedal there, go to the unsubdivided view, and try to extract a, I'm going to use that. Oh, there's this one right here. Duplicate, I'm going to shift duplicate and then just bring it over. I'm going to snap that to this chain object there. So it's aligned to that tab. So I tap back. Oh, I didn't separate it. So before I forget or go any further, let me turn that one on so the keys are showing. But anyway, so that needs to be, that ring there needs to be separated. P for selection, tab, and then I'm going to take that one and join them. That's going to be just a placeholder, I think. So now I can, let me see, Control 3. So that's pretty much the center around which the sprocket and the chain guard are going to be built. So I'm going to take that and snap it to that, but then I need the same thing here to where I'm aiming over here, and so over here I need to find, a lot of stuff here to see. So I'm going to isolate this wheel here, and in the unsubdivided preview or view, I'm going to take, so I've tabbed in, I'm going to take that one then. This is the big mistake. 35 times, this one's divided 35 times when it should have been 36. I just wasn't paying attention, you know, to, you know, actually think it through that it needed to be an even number. Okay, duplicate, P selection, tab, so it's there, it's selected. I'm just going to move it over a little bit. And Alt H to unhide everything. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Let me see. User preferences. It is preferable when sculpting, I found out, also by watching some of the other Blender videos, the ones that are on the Blender channel, that, where is it? That one. Save user preferences. It is preferable when you're sculpting to have that selected, so that then wherever you're sculpting is, it becomes a point of center for rotation. And kind of bugs me right now. So wrong one. I was going to hide that. I'm going to hide that too. Looking for that one and that one. Control join. So now I can isolate that one, and I know more or less how it needs to have a shape. I know this has way more vertices and this one has less, but I'll fix that. Okay, let me select it all and then just snap it to this. So on the top view, they should all align. Tab, Shift H to hide everything and isolate that one. And that's the chain element. What I plan to do is create a curve. And I need to work also, when I'm doing this, I need to Shift Snap U. While I'm talking, I'm also doing stuff. So right now I snap the cursor to the center of that. I selected that one, Shift S, right? Cursor selection to cursor. And Shift Snap U. And the same thing, selection to cursor. Okay, Control save. For now, what I am going to do, since I've been kind of like saving these, I'm going to extrude this in the Z. I'm going to go, what, 5? Okay. And selecting the face, I'm going to create a coordinate system. It didn't work because it went on the Z. That's why it didn't work. So I need to get rid of that one. I try to get rid of the extraneous ones also every once in a while. Do a little cleanup. So I have all these edges that I've used for manipulating vertices from the previous. So there's the edge. And so the petal and all these, I've been keeping them because I do use them. Just to give the example, Alt H and make the video longer, right? No, just joking. That, for example, that nut and that, it would be like a washer or a bearing, right? It's not the same. The picture reference pictures don't show this necessarily, but I just from previously, when I remember long ago, I used to work on my own bicycle as a young man, as a teenager, let's say. I remember they have bearings in here, and they have nuts that, you know, that fasten this pedal to that. So that's pretending to be a bearing with a nut. Control 3, so we can see it again the way it's supposed to look. Likewise this one. Anyway, I use these that you see there, just to finish that thought, are a copy of this up here. But I needed the coordinate system that I had there just to rotate them and make them match here. That's why I keep that, and that's why it worked for me there. So anyways, back to this plane, Shift H, or the chain. The plane didn't work because oh, come on. Escape, Tab. On the vertices, I'm going to erase that again. X, V. Okay, so what I really need to do is, Extrude it like this. This is the top view. Extrude it. And then in the X, I'll just choose. I'll just choose a whatever number, whatever distance. Now extrude that face. Okay, so maybe this should work and give me a coordinate system that goes from the center of the rear wheel to the center of the pedals. Now I can just get rid of these if I get rid of the faces, I'll end up with my line's gonna be gone, so I just select those XV back to where I was. Okay, so back to the front view. Now unobstructed front view. That's a little off, but that's okay. When we create that sprocket, and I need to go back to that was Control comma, right? To go to the center. When I'm going to scale that up. I can just proportionally guess at it. I'm going to call that good. And then here, not sure. I'm going to base it on the chain that I see here and the chain that goes right through there, barely visible. Oh, went way too far. I'm gonna guess it to be around there. Let me save that. Okay. So, what I really need is to put a curve, and this will have to be not a poly. I mean, we know when you do the curves, there's the one that has just the polygons, or whatever they call it, but a smooth curve. So it'd be like a Bezier curve, and I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. But the same over here, Bezier curve. And I'm gonna have to do some guesswork to make this fit, because really I'm gonna jump out of that train of thought, because I'm again making this up as I go along, right? Oh, come on, Control 3. So right there, I'm going to take care to make sure that the X is 0, but everything else is right. Right there, I'm going to add a plane. Tab into it. I should have rotated it to begin with. Scale it. So rotate Y 90. Scale Y. Oh, scale Z. Scale Z. I'm just guessing at it. I'm using this to guess. So Control R to guess the overall shape of that. So I'm going to give it 2 more. I think like that. Scale Y, Z. Oh, what's going on? Oh, scale Z. There you go. Scale Z. And then do that. By doing the Control 3, even though it didn't have it, it applies it. And I like to do this so I can see how it's going to look. Scale X. Right? No, scale Y. First of all, so I have my face there that I'm going to be using. I'm going to save that one as, I guess I'll call it chain. 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 That's my chain reference. I'm not using that right now. I'm just eyeballing these. That's the dog. I'm sure nobody heard that. The dog wants to play Blender as well. Scale Y. and so he hears, that looks good. Okay, and he hears things out there, and so he wants to be inside or outside, and I don't want to just kick him out, so I just say, okay, stay inside for, I just bring him inside. And right now he's hearing noises outside and he wants to bark at the stuff that's outside. But I don't want to be mean and just kick the dog out. Scale on the Y. Scale Y again. I'm a pretender. I pretend to care for the dog. I don't care at all for that dog. Scale Y. No, scale general, sorry. So that looks good. So maybe a little bit more scale down. And I'm just gonna tab. I don't want to lose the center. The center of that, I want to keep the centers there. That's what I'm getting at. So it looks proportionally the right way. The chain is sloping this way, but I'm going to keep this one like this in the center. And so this is a simple thing, I think, just so that it looks. Oh, come on. So yeah. So now that I don't have that selected, or actually when I had it selected, I'm talking about the preference, so that it goes and rotates. Does this rotation around the selected object. What has to be done then, every so often, you need to, with an object selected, hit the period on the number pad, and it makes it the center. I mean, there's another function that makes your cursor the center. I forgot what the hotkeys were for that. Like, you put it where you want it, you rotate around that. But it does make sense when you're sculpting. It's better to have that preference that I just changed, to have that selected. Anyway, this is a very easy extrude, certain distance like that. I'm gonna have to guess at it, and turn it into the edges. I'm gonna continue with the process, the same thought process, which is to crease these. Oh, Control Z. It's a Shift, Alt, 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 and then just the thought process is to crease it. So there it is. There's one. Now all of it selected. Shift duplicate along the X. They're probably, it's probably too thick. Tab. I'm going to unselect it, then Alt H everything. Kind of thought that's what would happen. Control 3. Just trying to get an idea. Like, for example, the spokes and this should have some sort of proportion that kind of works, but it's way back there right now, so I need to bring it forward. Get rid of the snap. Okay. Just to give an idea. I think that's good. In terms of size and depth, maybe just a little bit more. 7, Shift H, Tab. I'm probably going to move these just a little bit more. Sturdy bicycle with a sturdy chain. And so now that I have these, I'm going to select everything. It should be the very center there, so tab out. I'm hitting a bunch of keys that are here. I don't know which ones they are, but anyways, do that. Origin to geometry, I think that's it. So it puts the origin back in here. Okay, so Control 3, tab everything, Shift duplicate it along the Y, sorry. So they have to be on top of each other like this. You know what? I didn't even check if I have this on, because if I have this on, I'll be merging them. So grab X, no, Y. So they'll be on top of each other like about there, which is good. And then these, I'm just gonna with the L key, select that, and then move it to where I think it looks good. But I should probably be in the top view for that, right? It would make sense. They don't have to be right on top of one another, but like that. I'm gonna bevel these, and so hopefully I didn't create a bunch of vertices that are going to merge, are going to want to merge. I have to think about saying things, speaking correctly in here. So it's negative 0.006. I'm going to make it that. Then link selecting this one, I'm going to move it over the same amount, 0.006. Okay. So those are the inside ones. These are the outside ones. Very straightforward. And now it looks like a chain already, huh? And make them smooth. Okay. Let me Control 3. I wonder if I should keep them flat, just for that hard edge. But then this right here, it's not good. Alt H, so unselected, Alt H, pedals in the way. Depends, if I were to take an image of the bicycle from here, it might render okay. And that might be okay, so I'm gonna keep them flat for the sake of just checking out how it looks. Okay, so are they selected or not? Okay, Alt H. Wrong one. Shift H. Shift H. Okay, the process then, if I were to put, now I put the center on this one over here because the process then I was thinking is, if I put the center here, when they go around the tight, where's my chain? Okay, my chain's gone. Okay, these two, Shift H. So anyways, when it goes around this one, let me just duplicate one and put it on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use part of this circle and part of this circle to create the curve, and I'm going to connect the curve, and I'm going to apply the modifier to duplicate this one around the curve. But I'm just thinking right now, Control 3, that this one, for example, if it were duplicated a bunch of times here and the center were, well, here, let's do this. See, origin to geometry, the same with this, origin to geometry. So the curve is going to rotate it and basically put this geometry on a tangent on whatever, on the tangent to that curve. So I'm eyeballing it to the curve. So I'm imagining that that's a tangent. And let's say that's a tangent. And I'm checking this right now just to make sure it doesn't look really odd and crazy. Because I may be, again, making a mountain out of a molehill. That's, just to say an expression, making a big deal out of nothing. But I'm not making a big deal out of nothing. You can see clearly that it's got like a jagged. It's an obtuse angle there, very apparent. If I were to duplicate that one too, I could probably build a chain just by duplicating this right now, and might actually be relaxing too. So just spend the time and do them one by one. That looks okay, but from here to here it looks a little odd. So what I was gonna try to do is use the same curve, and you know what? I'm wondering, I think it has an offset. I should try to begin with. I should just check it out and try, because I've used this process using a curve to do a chain link fence, which is just a straight line. But back to the chain then, just real quickly. I'm going to, and the vertices, go back to the vertices X, V, get rid of those, and so extrude, I'm just going to go like that to try to find the tangent, right? snap U. So off of the cursor, I'm going to rotate that one with the snaps on there. There, so that's that one. I don't need that. XV. The same thing with this one here. E, bring that down over here, and then here, rotate, snap to that. A little quick on the draw there. Okay, so Control Save. Oh, come on. So Control 3. What I need to do is move that one too. E, move it across like this, rotate, there. So I'm really just gonna dissolve these. XD. So it's like a arrow right now, but XV. I'm hoping I can turn that into a curve, a nice round curve. And I lost my reference. Oh no! I can put another circle. Okay, the same thing here. I guess I'm going to do the same process. E, put the cursor here and just boom. E, bring this one down. E, bring this one out. Tab. I'm going to erase those. Wait, that's not the, okay, that's not the original one. X, delete. So back to this. Shift snap U, get that one, rotate to that. That one, rotate to that. So that's good. XV for those. That one, rotate to that. And then XD, dissolve. XV. So now I have what essentially can be converted. And hopefully this doesn't mess it up. So what I'm going to do is duplicate it. Move it to my junk layer. So I should probably have the original, or it's the duplicate one, but that's fine. Tab. It doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it does. Let's see. Take that one. It's Alt-C into a curve. And then in the curve properties, so all the vertices selected, I'm going to change the to that one. Okay, so it does, and I'm going to keep the same vertices. So it was, well, what did I call it? Change plane type. So one's poly, meaning it's a polyline, polygon, I don't know. But anyways, all the vertices, it still keeps the shape because all the vertices have to be V. They're all selected right now, so the vertices. So if I didn't have them selected, I have to select them. V, I'm going to go automatic, see what, where's the automatic? Oh, here. Not good. That's okay. Let's see. That might get me the closest thing. Let me pick those two and then just scale it in. See what that does. Oh, I'm scaling off of that. So back to... Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm trying to look over to see what time it is. Maybe I can edit that out. Scale. I'm back to the medium point. Hope it doesn't get too round there, and I really should probably aim to this vertices over here, but eyeballing it is fine too. Scale. In truth, the chain always sags on the bottom. I'm just going to eyeball that they point in the right direction, so the tangents are correct. And if it doesn't look too rounded over here. It looks fine. Maybe this looks a little rounded. If it is, when I put a circle, I'll just make them shorter. Control save. I'm gonna have to mess with this anyways because there's no guarantees that that's a good interval distance for this tab. So now, like I said, I've done this process before for a chain link fence, and I decided to make the curve right now just to see if I'm actually going to make this work. So I forgot, you apply the modifier to this one, you add the modifier, and it is, I'm gonna have to remember where it is. Is it a modifier or a constraint? I'm gonna pause it to remember. Okay, so I went and opened and checked my the file on which I have applied. I've done a chain link application like this. So basically what it is I'm taking this object here and creating an array. Oh, constraints. Okay, so go to the modifiers, and I have to create an array up here. Okay, let me give myself more room. And so, like I said, I've done this before, and I've basically created a chain length that was really a lot of memory. But you know, I just wanted the chain link to look good. Okay, so that array, where's the array? I gotta push it up so it was working before this modifier here. I think that's the way it works. And let me see. So this one is going to have to, number one, follow the curve. Right? Did I get it? I got it. The curve. And it's got a relative offset is fine. So then it's going to fit the curve length, and then I'm going to adjust that a little bit. The other thing is that, so beyond that, then also what I need to do is add the, which one is it? That one. And that's under the deform, so that's going to deform it to that curve. And let me see, back to here, and that's the same curve. And I hope I don't run into one of those problems, because I've done some videos and actually posted them before. Now you see it's gone. It's there, but it's gone somewhere. It's up here somewhere. Wow, crazy. Looks crazy. Kind of expecting that because I created the object right here for the chain lengths just to get the proportions more or less. And so it's off from 0, which is over here. So it's way over here from 0. So that's being taken into account in how it's being calculated. Not only that, this one is also, it's got the center about here. So it kind of like adds problems. So what I'm going to do, and I've already duplicated this. I think I've duplicated this one. Let me see. No, I haven't. That's chain 1. That's fine. There's not a whole lot of data in that one. So I'm just going to duplicate this one. And move chain 2 to the junk layer, which is a 0, right? But so that is chain 1. Okay. And what I'm going to do is apply to this one. Hopefully that starts to fix certain things. Apply the origin to geometry. So now I turned it so that the origin is here. Really, when I move this one, it's locked. That's okay. I always lock everything. Oops, I see a little something that the computer's trying to do, huh? Let me before I proceed and break the whole thing, right? I'm going to turn these off so that the computer doesn't go crazy trying to do the calculations, and then I'm asking it to do something that might be ridiculous. I'm just going to save here, and then go back. So if it breaks, and when I say breaks, I mean when the whatever's loaded to memory goes wrong. I can already see there's a problem that's wrong here, and that's that, right? So hey, that looks cool. That looks like a, like a tractor chain or something. Okay, so the problem is probably going to be in the order, in the direction. So without looking at this, it's the Y. I better change this back to the global. So it's the Y axis that I want. So I'm going to do that and then go back and view it. Where is it? Not quite happening, is it? So, and that one has, let me see if it has the rotations, and so the scale and rotations are good, and the center is right there, so it should be good. I can always toggle these around. The only problem is that, you know, maybe you do something that just runs the memory crazy. So I'm following the chain, a relative offset. I'm gonna go to 0 on that one and go to the Y. Just start increasing it. Okay, so that's probably better because I had the wrong thing there, and turn it on. Okay. So now it's looking like we're getting somewhere, except that it's rotated like that. That I don't know why it would be, other than it's taking a certain axis to be up, and in that case it's taking the z-axis to be up, which is correct. And so then therefore, let's turn it back down. The z-axis is up, but we know that these faces, so basically I have to tab in here, select everything, and then rotate it on the y-axis 90. Okay, so there it is, tabbing back out, and then I'm going to watch them again, see the computer explode, and it didn't. Control 3. Okay, so but there's a little offset still, and that's probably happening. It's, in other words, it's bigger here. So now the numbers aren't working out. Okay, I get it. Why? Let me see. Because of its distance from the origin. So the origin for that one is here. And what I'm going to do is shift snap the cursor to that origin. What did I do? Control Z. Shift snap the cursor to selected, and then I'm going to choose this one and go shift snap selection to cursor. Okay, that puts it right on the curve. So now I should be able, and again, I hope I've done it before. Anybody that's willing to just torture themselves, they can go and watch some of the videos where I'm trying to create something, and that's animating text on a path. That's why I got confused a little earlier. Is it a constraint? You know, I was like, is it a not the curve, but you know, is it a modifier or a constraint? Because that's, you use the curve, one of them, it's somewhere in here. Sorry. But not really. Follow the path, and that's when you use the path to animate things, which is one of the things that I'm kind of like considering and brainstorming how I can use that to animate this chain to go around as it's being pedaled. But you know, the offset seems to work right there. It looks like it's, I didn't even make an effort to work on the offset. So anyways, let me finish the thought. So that's why I got confused in there. And then in this case, this is the setup that I've done for a chain link. And the concerns that I was discussing earlier, and I was doing this just to see if it would be a concern, are pretty much nullified. They're gone because it's more, deform modifiers basically deform the vertices to the shape. But it's not really noticeable to me because of the circular nature of things. Anyway, I think so it works. It looks nice around the chain right now. For me, it looks nice around the sprocket. I still have to build the sprocket to fit the chain. So what I'm going to do then is, for this right now though, is because of the concern that I was having. Let me just look at that in the top. Let me get more real estate here so we can see. Oh, come on. 7. So, okay. What I'm going to do is tab into it, and I'm going to try to put... the center isn't. The center is to the center. I thought I was somehow thinking back. I had placed the center here, and I moved it over to that end, which is good, because then you have less... if I had left it here at this location, you'd have more deform here than you would here. So right now the deform is kind of like happening evenly. So it works. So we're good. When I say we, I mean me. I'm good. Okay. So, I mean, I could pretty much, because my videos have been pretty long, I could call it, here's how you make a chain link. The only thing I really have to do then is, I did not even consider, so I went 0.8. I just, so probably there. And it's fitting the curve. So all I gotta do is check this point right here. So it's probably, this is the start of the curve versus everything else seems to be good. Yeah. So this is, the curve is continuous. That's the way I created it. I could always have a point that's not, but doesn't. But anyway, what I need to do here is N and T. I'm get tired of seeing such a little screen, and yeah, it's too huge, too big of ink. I'm gonna escape that. The increments are too big. So like if I go it was 0.8. 0.8 is how I originally did it, and you can see that's off. So 0.75, not quite. Although, let me see right here, see how it looks. I might be, so I'm going to, yeah, it makes it up as I get, because I'm doing the fit curve, it makes it up. Right there, it just generated another one. So that's probably the closest right there, point. Oh, come on, go back. No, this is off right here. So back to the 0.8. That's 0.75. 0.74. Oh, wrong 0.74. 0.73. Too tight. Now I'm compounding them right here. Even though it looks good on the rest, they are being compounded in here. So 0.745. No. It was 0.751. Oh, what am I doing? 7.5. Okay, not good. Let's go back to the 0.8. What a coincidence that it seemed to work out. That seems to work out the best, which is 0.78. I'm going to take a guess and say 0.775. No. 0.79. 0.78. That seems to work. 0.781. No, so that gets it closer. 0.782. No, wrong way. 0.778. I'm gonna call that good, because otherwise nobody wants to watch a video where I'm going point. This is the on point video. Point, control, save. I'm gonna call that good for that chain. It's already I stopped the recording. I'm probably at 45 minutes right now with this. I'm going to go ahead and post it like this. This is, one of these weekday evenings where I had some time to do this, and so I'm going to go ahead and post this as a complete video. Not really. I should not, because I still need the sprocket. So yes, I can show this as a how to make the chain, but I still need the sprockets. So let me Alt-H everything else. So there's the bicycle, but without the sprockets. And I guess this bicycle goes very fast. Let's just call it that. Even though the reference does show the chain to be about that far apart. So I'm going to leave it as it is. What I need to do is add a, let me just save the chain. Not save, but let me isolate them by Shift-H. So I'm isolating the chain and the wheel right now, Shift-H. And they should all be aligned according to that line that I started with. That's why I chose to use it. and I'm going to then tab into this one. I'm going to select that one, shift, yeah, I'll start with that one, shift. It has the 35, it has the 30, it's not good then. It's not, it really isn't. Tab, not going to do anything with it. What I am going to do is go back to the curve. I'm wondering if in the wireframe I can see it to select it. Not really, because it's hidden. So it's right there. Okay. Okay, so I can use that one, and I need to generate, and I can actually do a count here. Generate a curve, a circle there. So some of this may not actually come through in the video, but basically I'm snapping the cursor to that, which is the center of this wheel. Now back on the curve, that one right there. No, not the curve. Well, whatever. I'm just gonna, in the object mode, I'm gonna add a circle. And I'm going to guess, so 90, I guess at the amount of divisions. I'm gonna leave it at, well, I don't have to guess that much, because I can count more or less half of them. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Double of that is 18, so I'm gonna go 36 division. I'm just winging it here, so let's see, 36 divisions, and rotating it on the Y for 90, and I'm going to make it smaller. Where's the size? Vertices, radius. Wow, the computer seems to be taking a while. I'm wondering if I've already pushed it to the limits with so many, so much vertices, and then themselves being subdivided. I'm gonna move it out a little bit just so I can distinguish it. Yeah, it's taking a while. The computer is, I mean. Okay, I'm gonna save that for now. Okay, since it's taking a little long, what I'm going to do is the computer, I don't know if it's updates, because the computer did warn me. Control 0. The computer warned me that I was going to be needing to do an update, so I don't know if it started, even though I tried to defer that. I'm just going to bring down the view on all of these. Look at that. That's ugly, huh? It's coming out. I thought they were perfectly aligned. That's odd. But anyways, I brought down the preview on all of the objects that are visible here. Let me save that for now. There's that wheel 2, so that I can work without having to. So I'm keeping this one, and number 1, I'm going to hide that. So that circle, well, I was calling the chain done. I forgot I need to put the little cylinder in between here. That's just a cylinder, I add a cylinder that sticks out a little bit just to give it that look. But yeah, that's more work. So take that one and the curve. No, take that one and that one. Oh, no, don't tab into it. I just wanted to isolate that so that I can line it up to the very center. Do I have my snaps on? If they are on, there. So it's in the center, Alt H. And then H again. I forgot to turn the display when I turned off and turned on when I had to do my research. I'll call it research. I listen to the YouTube people all the time. They talk about doing research. It's really just watching other YouTube videos, right? I should really do that as well. You know, just go into another YouTube and check it out how they're doing it. Which is how I learned, and I put that on my first video. That's how I learned. That's kind of like the reason that I decided to do that. But which is fine. I mean, everybody's watching. There's 5 people that have been watching this video, watching this, you know, bicycle thing, and I appreciate that. I'm just sharing. I'm trying to think right now while I'm talking what exactly to do if I should. I've already gotten away from the modifications I was doing, but let me go back to the comma. It's control comma and scale it down. Get rid of the tab, scale it down. It's starting to get busy. It gets busy right now, so to the point where there's many things that I can't really see, so I can imagine that in the recording some stuff might not come through. But I suppose it doesn't matter. I'm just going to rotate this one. I'll go into the... Well, maybe I should isolate it so I can see it clearly. Shift H. Control Z. What did I do? Okay, at least it's still there. When I tabbed in, that was interesting. It's showing me the whole array. Tab out. But so the thought is that I can fit some of these in between where it should go. And so what I'm going to do is extrude it a little bit right now. So rotate on the X a little bit. I'm just going to eyeball it and try to line them up, and they don't. Just from looking at that, they don't. These are a little far off. I just guessed at the number, and that's what I was thinking. So I was basically going to choose every other and edge and extrude it, and it doesn't work. That doesn't work. So probably the best way to do this again is in here, right? Where this selected is, I'm going to take this and scale it up just so that I don't lose it. But now I'm going to add the circle inside this object. And gave me the last settings. I just got to rotate on the Y 90. Bring down the radius here using these so it doesn't go, doesn't give me the option. Okay. I wanted to give it more vertices in here. Okay, X. So in object mode. Okay. Oh, no wonder. Because I rotated them 90 as I didn't give me the options. What? That's funny. Here. I rotate here 90. Here, so I don't lose this stuff here. Okay. Bring them back down. Now I'm gonna have to eyeball it to see where they're going. So I'm gonna go 2 more just to see where. Even if I said, see, I didn't even take the space between these, so I may have taken the time and made them, you know, more carefully made them particular dimension so that I wouldn't have such difficulty with this here. So that one could go in there, that one could go in there, not really. Let me see. Yeah, this one can't either. So let's go to 34. See how that looks. That one can go in there. I didn't want to do an odd number and I can't do an odd number, or can I? If I do the select I'll lose it. But if I do the select, check or deselect, it'll give me an idea. And not really. So, oh come on, they're not selected. Yeah, not quite. XV, Shift add a circle, rotate it 90. So I was already at 36. That doesn't work. When I go into this view, I can hardly tell, but I'm just gonna use what appear to be the troughs of the wave. And it's very clearly not coinciding with these. So what this is gonna mean is that I'm going to incrementally have to change this curve to fit either this, or like I'm gonna, let's say I choose to stick to 36 and scale it up, and then incrementally change the curve and change the offsets so that it'll fit. And it'll have to be an iterative process between that wheel there, the back, and I'm sorry, that spoke there and this spoke here, and keep changing them and adjusting the offset. Or maybe I could change, see if I can fix the offset or something like that. But anyways, as the curve changes, is going to mess what I did over here. Just to give the example tab. I'm explaining it right now because I see how I have to do it, but I'm gonna have to go to the time lapse because it's gonna take a while for me to be narrating it and all that. Tab, okay, tab. So here's the curve, and here's what I mean. As soon as I start, getting that and moving it, the work that I did to make sure that these were, joining correctly is gone. And so that's probably going to be an easier process for me to do that, right, and meet it. But anyways, I'm going to time lapse that. Control Z, tab. I'm going to time lapse that because it's going to be too tedious to do it talking. Okay. Well, that went longer than I thought, and it's not as I would like it. It's not exact. It doesn't work really. I'm just calling it good for the sake of, let's say from here you can't really tell, but it's very obvious in the time lapse that I was having a hard time making the teeth, I guess you would call them the teeth right here of the sprocket meet the chain. So there's a couple of things for that. I just followed the reference drawing, the reference picture. Use that to try to get the proportion of the chain, and if I really wanted to figure this out, I'd have to do some math, I think, and get it right. So it's not very apparent, but some of these are just they're gonna clip right through probably this one right here. They're gonna clip. This one's clipping right there. So they're going to clip right through that cylinder. So is this one, so is this one. A lot of these are. These are not. Maybe I can rotate that one a little bit more. But yeah, I had some trouble just making it work. The chain looks okay. The deformation that happens when it goes around here is fine, I think. I mean, it's not fine, but it's not, you can't tell. This is ugly. I try to get creative with this. It's just in trying to do the divisions that would fit the best. You can already see the clipping there. At a close-up, the clipping will be visible. I call that clipping. It's not really clipping, but it's the overlap of one object onto another. So, I mean, it's not ideal, but I'm not gonna spend an eternity on it either. It's already gone long. I wasn't planning on doing it. Spending that much time. I thought it would be more obvious, considering that that it would all come together a little bit better, considering that I was using the reference photo, and from the reference photo, the dimensions of the even though the sprockets aren't showing, but I could guess at those. I thought it would work out, but it didn't. I would basically have to, get the calculator and work out some numbers to make that work. This is very ugly. I think this is going to, for me, it's very ugly. I have to get more creative also in how I select some of this stuff. I'm going to try to do, there's all sorts of selection options here, and maybe, where's the sharp edges? See if that selected them all, but Shift H. So in the time lapse, I moved the stuff that I was working into the second layer, and then I moved them back in case it's not that apparent. Let me see. I'm going to get rid of these, and I'm going to crease those. Control Z. It's because I'm reaching the edge of the pad, and so I keep going, and it basically goes in. I have a small pad, not a big drawing pad. So I reached the edge, and then it kept going in the direction that it was available or had available to go. So okay. I didn't even pay attention here. Select the sharp edges. And I need to increase that so I can get rid of some things. There. No, there's more. Close to the 90. Come on, that one's gotta go. Okay. I guess it's, well, yeah, there must be more than the 90. So let me see. I'm gonna have to deselect these, but anyways, I was gonna crease it just for the sake of it not looking so. It looks like it looks like it's plastic or something that's not even sturdy, for the sake of the aesthetic. And normally when I see these kinds of things, well, you know what? Let me just see how it looks like this. I'm going to crease these, and Normally when I see things like these that are stamped, that have a hole in them, the first thing that comes to my mind is they did that to save on the metal, probably, you know, materials wise or something, you know, because it looks creative. This looks a little bit more creative, maybe. It doesn't look that. And then this should be smooth. It doesn't look that bad. Well, it looks bad here with these creases. Yeah, it looks bad right there. Maybe I guess I won't make it smooth. I'll make it flat. It still looks bad right there. So I'll make it smooth, and I'll have to get rid of those edges. So Shift G. So I basically have to get more comfortable, you know, doing these kinds of selections that don't require so much time, and the time lapse is scene where I can go through. Shift H. Okay. Where I go through and I do a lot of selections, the little corners and all that. And here I'm going to see if I can get these just like that. It looks faster in the time lapse, very slow, and when you're doing real time. I'm guessing that this video is already an hour long. So what's a few more minutes, right? No. Let me see how this looks real quick. So I should have those edges only, and I'm going to get rid of the crease on that. So it worked there. Control 3. I'm going to C. I hope I didn't rip any vertices. And then I gotta get these. Hopefully this doesn't look too bad. And well, it already looks kind of, like I said, kind of weak. I should be, no, I can't. I can't just go around because there's that vertex right there. But that's okay. Oh, did I miss one? Oh, look. Something looks odd right here with the spacing. And that's the thing, that I went 17 for the half circles. That's 34, which was an even number anyways. But I didn't need an even numbering in this case because I was going to be extruding every face on the outside of that circle. Alt H. Yep, it's kind of odd here. I'm not even sure that this is 180 apart. So I made a mistake. I jumped one. So yeah, it's very obvious. This is even, but this is not. So I jumped one, and so I ended up like that. Only myself and everybody else is watching this video will know. Okay, Alt H. See how that looks. Okay, maybe hoping that doesn't look that bad, but it is pretty bad. Maybe so. To end this video, just call it on an okay note. I'm going to say that's the chain. Next video, I'm going to finish up the guard and it shouldn't take that long for the guard and the fenders, and that's it. I mean, I need to put the bolts. I can do that. They copy these over here and make it look nice and call this good over here. It needs the brakes, right? The brake systems. I may not do videos for those in the sense that this is bicycle. This can be one of those, you know, old school bicycles where you just pedal backwards to put on the brakes. In which case I just have to, you know, make something up like I did on this side over here, and likewise back there. And I think I think that's what I'm going to do, because I mean the brakes it's a good modeling you know, exercise. But I took on this bicycle for the sake of you know, just I saw them on the street and I thought, you know, that'd be cool to see if I can model the bicycle so that it looks like a bicycle. And I can render. Right now I'm still eager to get it to the rendering and then rigging it so that it looks like somebody can ride it. So I might just skip the brakes and pretend that it goes backwards and then skip the braking system, which is kind of odd because then I still need to do the flashlight that goes in here. You know, you have the solar panel for nothing, right? So at least for the flashlight, and just so that it's a big giveaway that it's one of those rental bikes, I will need to do the lock. So yes, a few more videos, but for this one, this is it. This is the chain. I'm going to zoom in like this to see if I can get NNT, if I can get Google to choose that one for me. It won't look too appealing, I suppose, but maybe I can get Google to just show that one for me as a screen at the very end of the video, and then I don't have to create a new screen for it. Well, thank you for watching. Next video, I'm just gonna do the guard and the fenders, which will be kind of easy, and maybe add some nuts here to hold that sprocket. Thank you for watching. Bye.